Yeah, dismiss the recording notification, and we will start today sitting back on our heels. So we'll be sitting here for a few breaths. So if you want, take a blanket, roll it up, place it on top of your ankles and sit, or maybe take a block and sit on top of the block. Put the block between your heels and sit on the block. Either way, we're just getting started with a light stretch on our feet. So make yourself comfortable because we'll be here for a few breaths. Hands resting lightly on your thighs. Reach the top of the head towards the ceiling. Lay your sit bones down. And then tuck your chin in slightly so that the back of your neck is in line with your spine. Maybe close your eyes for the first few breaths. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and let it out. One more time. Deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and let it out. Now feel your lips breathing in and out only through your nose, unless you have a sinus problem. Breathing in yoga is typically done through the nose. So deep, long inhales through your nose and long, loud exhales also through your nose. Notice your belly puff up on the inhales and deflate on the exhales. Slow, steady breaths arriving on your mat, leaving your day behind. Take one last deep inhale and exhale. And then flutter open your eyes if you have it closed. Remove the block from underneath you. Roll forward, tuck your toes in and sit back on your heels. So maybe you want to take your hands and roll those the last two little toes under as well. Just so all your toes are getting a stretch. You're stretching the soles of your feet, your plantar here. And then you're just going to make slow neck circles, so half circles with your neck, rolling from one side to the other side. We'll do 4 of these and then we'll release our feet. So maybe noticing the nice sensation in your neck to distract yourself from your feet, from the pain in your feet. And then release, roll forward, tap your toes out. And just one more round like this. Again, tuck your toes in, sit back on your heels, maybe rolling your little toes under as well to get all your toes a good stretch. And then this time, shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down. One more time, shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down. Last time, shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down. Big circles with your shoulders, maybe using your elbows as well. Reverse the direction of the rotations. And then release, roll forward, tap your toes out. And then let's take a few cat-cows here. Spread your fingers wide, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Inhale as you drop your belly, arching your back, lifting your tail up and lifting your heart up like a happy cow. Exhale as you press the mat away, round your back. Gaze at your belly button to spine. 3 more like this, moving with your breath. Noticing the undulation of your spine, pausing where you want, where it feels good. Noticing that your neck and your tailbone are part of the spine and you can move them a little bit more than maybe the rest of your spine. So exaggerating the movement there. And then come to a neutral spine. And this time, sit back on your heels without your toes tucked. So the tops of your feet are getting a stretch here and your shin as well. So resting your right hand on your thigh, use your left hand to slightly pull your knee up. You may not be able to pull it up very high. So you're just pulling the knee up to get a good stretch on the top of your foot. Breathe through it. And then release. Let's do the other side. Left hand rest on the thigh. Use your right hand to pull your knee up, stretching your shin a little bit, stretching the top of your foot. Breathe into it. And release. Roll forward one more time. Make any sort of movements you need to, tapping your feet out, moving your hips, anything to release. And then on your next inhale, kick your right leg back, all the way back, pressing your heel out, and then drop the ball of the foot down. And now you're going to move to the front and back of the mat, getting a good stretch in your calf muscle. Yesterday, we did a hike that was steeper than the hike that I usually do. So my calf muscles were sore a little bit this morning. So this stretch feels really good. And then what you do is pick up that right foot and then cross it over to the left side outside your mat. And then once again, sit back and roll forward, sit back, roll forward, sit back, roll forward. And then pick up that foot, come back to tabletop. I'm going to mute all participants and I'll be back. Let's do the other side. Kick your left leg back. Kick it back, all the way back, all the way back. Press your heel to the back wall and then drop the ball of the foot down. Roll forward and backwards, stretching your calf muscle. Now cross that leg over to the right side, outside your mat, and then one more time, moving forward and backwards to get that stretch. And then bring it back, coming back to a tabletop. Sit back on your heels. Bring your knees together, feet together. You're going to take a traditional child's pose, this time with a variation. Interlace your hands behind. Drape your torso over your thighs. Reach your heart forward. Drape your torso over your thighs. And try to bring your forehead to the mat. If your forehead doesn't touch the mat, use a blanket or a cushion underneath your forehead. Allowing your arms to drop open. Rest here in child's pose just for a few breaths. Now stay in child's pose, but reach your arms forward. One more breath here. Then roll forward, come onto your tummies. Dropping your belly down, hands underneath your shoulders. Plug your elbows in by your side, your wings are in by your side, your wings are not open. Inhale as you peel your heart up, baby cobra pose. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Inhale, peel your heart up a little bit more, maybe a teenage cobra. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Inhale, all the way up, full adult cobra. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Wiggle your hips out. And then come into kind of like a sphinx pose with your elbows underneath your underneath your shoulders. Now you're going to turn your right forearm parallel to the front of the mat, reach your left hand behind, grab the big toe side of the foot and press that foot into your bum, getting a good quad stretch here. Half through a frog pose. Propping yourself up with your right elbow, using your left hand to press your left heel to your bum. Breathe into your quad muscle, maybe peeling a little bit more of your thigh if you don't feel the stretch. And then release. Let's go to the other side. Bring your left forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Reach back with your right hand, grab the big toe side and bring your heel to your bum. Maybe actively trying to peel a little bit of your thigh up to get an active stretch in that quad muscle, the front of your leg, the front of the thigh. Breathe into it. And release. And come back up into a tabletop here. Tuck your toes in, lift your hips up, downward facing dog pose. Adho Mukha Svanasana, inverted V. Push the mat away from you, spreading your fingers wide, trying to bring your chest closer to your thighs. You can keep a bend in your knees so that you can lift your tailbone up, so that you are elongating your spine. Now, all of us will bend our left knee as much as we can to bring the right heel all the way down to the mat. Getting a good stretch again in the back of the right leg, especially the calf muscle. Bend your left knee so that your left thigh is all the way to your belly and your right leg is strong and straight. Heel is pressing towards the mat. It may touch it, it may not touch it, doesn't matter. Just making sure that you're getting that calf stretch. And then same size. Bend your right knee a lot so that your belly touches your right thigh. And then press your left heel down to the mat. Getting a good stretch in the back of the left leg now, especially the calf muscle. Breathe into it. Now let's change sides rapidly. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee, just like you're riding a bicycle. Pedaling your legs out. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Grab opposite elbows and hang like a rag doll. Maybe bouncing up and down, keeping a bend in your knees, allowing your head and neck to weigh your spine down. Maybe sway from side to side. Notice your hip, notice your glutes when you sway from side to side. What are the sensations there? Shaking your head, yes. Shaking your head, no. And then drop your fingertips down and slowly roll up to standing. Inchworms. Inhale as you reach your hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees if you want. Drop your palms down. Walk your hands forward, one palm print at a time like an inchworm, coming to a strong plank. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, start walking your hands back to your feet. And then come up to standing. Inhale, reach all the way up. I'm not going to call out the breath. Move intuitively with your breath, reaching your hands all the way up to the sky. One more time, drop your hands down. Walk one palm print at a time like an inchworm, plank pose. And then walk your hands back. Come all the way up to standing, reach up. Two more times like this. Hands down, inchworm forward, strong plank every single time. Walk back. Working our hamstrings here and stand all the way up. One last time, drop your hands down, walk your hands forward, strong plank, and then walk your hands back, one palm print at a time. And come all the way up to standing. Reach your hands all the way up, palms to heart center. Again, working on our hamstrings. You're going to take your arms behind you and grab opposite elbows. What this is going to do is help us keep our chest open. We're going to do half folds, but to do the half folds, we want to keep our spine straight. Instead of rounding down like this, we're going to reach forward. So take a deep inhale as you reach the crown of the head forward, crown of the head to the top. Exhale, keep your legs as straight as possible as you come halfway down. Inhale, stand all the way up. You should feel a good stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale, halfway down. Push your hips back like you're trying to close a car door with your bum. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, fold halfway down. Reach your heart forward so that your spine is straight, L shape here. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. These are called good mornings. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. And release. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, palms down, inchworm to plank pose. We'll take a vinyasa here. Take a deep inhale and plank. Exhale, knees stretch chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift your heart up. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Again, pedaling your leg out if it feels like you want that. Or maybe holding a still down dog, getting that full body stretch. And then come to a still down dog. Drop your knees, coming back to a tabletop. From here, you're going to, I'm kind of blanking here, but let me see my notes. You're going to come into Anjaneyasana. You're going to step your right foot forward and rise up. You could tell that I was designing the class during Super Bowl. So 90-90, which means that your hip, knee, ankle, all of them are at 90-90 on both legs. So when we twist, we usually twist towards the front knee, not the back knee. Inhale as you reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Breathe into that lunge. Breathe into the hip flexor. The left hip flexor, if your right foot is in front, you're stretching the left hip flexor. Hands come to heart center. You're going to bring the back of the left hand outside your right knee and reach your right arm behind you. Try to take the gaze all the way behind you, pressing down with your right big toe to keep your balance. And slowly come back to center. Drop your fingertips down and then tuck your toes in and move your knee back a little bit, coming into a full Anjaneyasana. So here you're going to get a good stretch again in your left hip flexor, runner's lunge, lift your heart up. So there is a straight line all the way from the crown of your head to your hips to your knee. If you need blocks underneath your hand, go for that. A little bit of a deeper stretch here. Your fingertips can be on blocks, they can be on the floor, it doesn't matter. And then you can stay here, or if you want an added quad stretch, reach your right arm behind you, grab a hold of that left foot, and then bring that foot close to your bum. You don't need to add this. This is pretty intense, just an option. You're already getting a good stretch in your hip flexors, so adding this is just icing on the top. And then release. Drop your fingers down. Take your right knee back. Let's make big hip circles. sitting all the way down to your right heel, moving it over to the left, coming forward. Maybe your shoulders come past your wrists and your hips drop down, and then 2 more like this in this direction. Every time you come forward, feel free to drop your hips down, make those circles as big as you want, and then reverse the direction of the circles. And then come back to a tabletop after your third round on the opposite side and step your left foot forward for 90-90 lunge. Not doing a full Anjaneyasana here. We're just doing a 90-90 degree. In Anjaneyasana, typically our back knee would be further behind to stretch the front of the thigh. But a 90-90 is a good place to start and reach your hands up. Breathe. Breathe into that right hip flexor this time. Where do you feel the stretch? Again, props are your friend, right? Use props underneath your knee if you want. You can use a blanket. You can use blocks underneath your fingers. I love using props. So feel free to keep all your props, bring them to the playground, bring them to your mat. Hands to heart center. This time, the back of the right hand to the outside of your left knee. Reach your left hand behind you and take your gaze behind you, maybe gazing at your left thumb. You want to dig in with your left big toe to keep your balance. Then come back to center, drop your fingertips down and move your right knee back a little bit so that you can get a deeper stretch in the front of the hip flexor and lift your heart up. Runner's lunge. Again, blocks underneath the hand helps here. Underneath your fingers helps here. I'm going to breathe again into that deep stretch in the front of the hips, here, front of your right hip specifically. Shoot for that straight line from the crown of your head, shoulders, hips, and your back knee. And stay here, or if you want, add that quad stretch, reaching back with your left hand, grabbing a hold of that right foot and pressing it to your cramp, pressing it to your bum. Feel free to skip that. You're already getting a good stretch in the front of your thigh here. Breathe into it. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel anxious, just come into child's pose for a few breaths. It's perfectly fine. And then release that foot. Drop your hands down, take that left knee back. Move your hands one palm print forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog pose. Again, pedaling out your legs if you want, shaking them out, taking them wide and swaying from side to side like an elephant. Anything you want to do. And then bend your knees, both knees a lot, look forward and step or walk between your hands. Grab opposite elbows one more time, trying to see if you can go a little bit deeper this time. So if you want, you can keep a bend in your knees. Bouncing up and down, swinging from side to side, shaking your head. And then drop your fingertips down and slowly roll up to standing. 3 rounds of Surya Namaskara 8. Inhale, sweep your arms. I think all of us here, we are familiar with Surya Namaskara, so we will, yeah, I think that we will just flow breath to breath. Feel free to take a regression like knees, chest, chin. You don't have to do the full Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, palms touch, gaze up, baby back bend. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it all the way down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, reach the crown of the head forward, L shape. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, take it back to a plank pose, hold it here. Take a deep inhale here in plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranama. Inhale, untuck your toes and lift up to Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck your toes in, send your hips back and lift it up, downward facing dog pose. Stay here, 5 deep breaths. Try to find stillness this time in your downward facing dog. Press the mat away to bring your chest closer to your thighs. Reaching your heels towards the mat. They may not touch today. Keeping your legs really strong and straight if you can, but you can always keep a slight bend in your knees. Lifting your tail up, elongating your spine, dropping your head and neck. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or walk between your hands. Inhale, half lift, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, press your feet down, rise all the way up to standing, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, palms to heart center. And down by your side. One more time. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, palms touch, baby back bend. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it all the way down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, take it back to a plank pose, hold it here, strong plank. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, untuck your toes, Bhujangasana or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog pose, 5 deep breaths again. Finding stillness in your downward facing dog, reconnecting with your breath. Keep pressing the mat away from you, bring your chest close to your thighs. Last breath. Bend your knees, look forward, step or walk between your hands. Inhale, half lift, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, press root down to lift up, reach your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart center. And down by your side, last round, Surya Namaskara. Inhale, reach your fingertips up to the sky, palms touch, baby back bend. Exhale, hinge and fold it down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take it back, plank pose, hold it strong. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Cobra, up dog, keep your elbows tucked in. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Hold it here, 5 breaths. Enjoy this downward facing dog. Probably the last time we'll be holding it. Last deep inhale. And exhale it out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or walk between your hands. Inhale and half lift. Exhale and fold it down. Inhale, root down to rise up, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, palms to heart center. And down by your side, Natarajasana, that's our balance pose as well as our quad stretch today. So you're going to reach your right arm out and then reach your left hand behind you and grab the big toe side of the foot. You're grabbing the big toe side of the foot, not the pinky toe side of the foot. Kick that foot into your hand as you reach the right arm forward. Keep kicking that foot into the hand. Keep reaching your heart forward as if you're doing a cobra pose. So you're not trying to hold forward, but lifting up. At the same time, lifting that foot up as well. Hold it here, breathe. Finding your balance. 2 more breaths. And slowly release. Drop that foot down, shake it out. And then remember those half folds we did. We're going to do a variation of that. So your left foot comes slightly behind your right foot, just the ball of the foot down. These are single leg deadlifts. Reach your arms behind one more time, just like we did before. We're going to do those half folds with one leg behind. Your heel is lifted up. Your left toes are in line with your right heel. Inhale as you reach the crown of the head, and exhale as you reach forward half fold. Don't fold down, don't round your back. Inhale, come back up. Keep that left leg strong and straight. Exhale, half fold. You should feel a stretch in your left hamstring. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach forward. You're going to do a half fold like you're closing the car door with your bum. Inhale, up. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, up and release. Take it out. Let's go for the other side. So this time rooting down with your left foot. You're going to reach your left arm forward, reach your right arm behind you, like you're welcoming someone into your house, and then you're going to grab the big toe side of the foot. Hit that foot into your hand as you reach your left arm forward. You're going to lift your heart up as well, like as if you're in cobra pose. Reach your right foot up as well, because you're kicking it into your hand. Just for 5 breaths, keep your balance. A little bit of shaking in your leg and your core trying to stabilize you. And slowly release, drop it down, shake it out. This time take your left foot behind you, drop the ball of the foot down, your heel is up, your left toes are in line with your right heel. Interlace your elbows, hold opposite elbows behind you. You're going to keep a straight spine. So when you fold forward, think about reaching forward rather than rounding down. So reach the crown of the head up, take a deep inhale. Exhale, halfway down. You should feel a stretch in your right hamstring. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Right leg is strong and straight. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. And release. Shake it out. And step your feet wide for Prasarita. Your feet are as wide as if I extended my arms and dropped a string from my wrist. Then they would touch my ankle. So they are like about as wide as that. And the edges of my feet are parallel to the edges of the mat, which means that my toes are in, heels are out, not the other way around. So one more time, we're going to do those half lifts. So hands interlace behind you. Inhale as you reach the crown of the head up. Exhale, press your bum back as you reach halfway down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Venki, don't round your back. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up. Hands on your hips. Reach your heart up. Exhale, fold it all the way down. Prasarita Padottanasana. Fingertips land in between your feet. Inhale, reach your heart forward, half lift. Exhale, fold it again. You can reach your hands behind you. Use blocks underneath your fingers if you cannot reach the floor. Press your feet down, especially the outer edge of the feet. Breathe into the stretch that you feel in your inner thighs, inner hamstrings. Breathe here. Keep trying to lift your tailbone up like there's a string pulling that is pulling your hips up to the sky. Fingertips come back underneath your nose. Right fingertips underneath your nose. Left fingers up for an open twist. You can use a block underneath your fingers. Props are your friends. Drop your left hand down, left fingers underneath your nose, right fingers up, open twist. Drop both fingers down, inhale, lift halfway up, bring both hands to your hips, and then lift all the way up to the standing. Horse stance. So horse stance, our toes are out, heels are in. So like in goddess pose or sumo squat. So toes are out, heels are in. Take your arms up, reach your fingertips up to the sky. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, squat down. Goddess pose, cactus arms. Try to bring your thighs parallel to the mat. Keep pressing your knees out. Hold it here, breathe. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale, squat down. Hold it here, breathe. 1, 2. Keep pressing your elbows back. Keep pressing your knees back. 3. Both hands come to your thighs. Drop your right shoulder. Look over your left. Come back to the center. Drop your left shoulder. Look over your right. Come back to the center and rise all the way up. Step up to the top of the mat. Feet go wide. So feet wide as the mat, toes pointed out perhaps. Reach your arms forward. You're going to slowly squat all the way down to the mat. Send your hips back, squat down. Keep your knees over your ankles so your knees are not caving in. Your knees are as wide as your ankles as well. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Take it a little bit lower. Your thighs are parallel to the mat. Keep pressing your feet into the mat to activate the backs of your legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it. Come all the way down. Malasana, yogi squat. Elbows land inside your knees. Hold it here. Maybe swaying from side to side. Reaching the crown of the head up. And then come on to your bum. I'm going to turn and face you guys. You guys can stay where you are. Take your feet wide, fingertips behind you. We're going to do hip swivels. So dropping both knees to one side. Now you'll have a 90-degree angle from your hip to meet your ankle on both legs. And then swivel over to the other side, digging your heels in. Again, coming into that 90-90. Switch sides. Switch sides, dig your heel in so that you're not moving around too much. Switch sides. Can you release your fingers? Switch sides. Switch sides. Switch sides. Come back to the center. Fingertips behind you, internal, external rotation. So dropping your right knee in, opening it up. Keeping your left foot planted, right knee in, opening it up. Internal, external rotation on your right side. Opening it up. Dropping it in. Opening it up. Change sides. Plant your right foot. Dropping your left knee in. Opening it up. Dropping it in. Opening it up. Drop in. Open. Drop in. Open. And last one, drop in. Open. And then drop both knees to the right. side. So your right shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat. Left shin is 90 degree, deer pose. So hands behind you, lean back. So you're just going to stay here. This might be the extent that you want to go. Perfectly fine, right? But if this is not enough for you, only then you would move all the way back to your elbows. And if you feel you can go a little bit more, then come all the way down onto your back. Where do you feel the stretch? Notice where you feel the stretch and make a mental note of it. So for me, and it's interesting, it will be different for different people. For me, I actually feel it on my left hip flexor. Make a mental note of it and see if it's the same on your other side. Come back up. And then let's go into a modified pigeon pose. Your right shin is probably parallel to the front of the mat. You're going to fold over your right shin. If you want, you can stay in this half pigeon or extend the left leg behind you, coming into a full pigeon. For this, I need a block or a blanket underneath my right hip. So I'll place that blanket and we're going to stay in this pigeon pose for a couple of minutes. Make sure, look behind you, make sure your left leg is shooting straight back from your hip, that your ankle is not fickled, and then fold forward. This is a pose that I'm not very fond of, but I know Neha likes it. So we are doing it for Neha's sake. You can use that, also use a block underneath your forehead. Actually, we are doing it for me because when you don't like a pose, it means you need it. There's something about that pose that is uncomfortable and you need to get more comfortable with it. So where do you feel the stretch? My right knee, my right shin is in front and I feel it in my right outer hip, which is where hopefully you're feeling it too. You could also choose to stay in a 90-90 pigeon pose. Slowly come up. If you have a blanket, remove it. And come back with your feet planted on the mat to go over to the other side, dropping your left shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, coming into that deer pose. So hands behind you and start leaning back. Hopefully your opposite shin is in front. Maybe you choose to go down further. Maybe you go all the way down. Where do you feel the stretch? So I do feel it in my right hip flexor this time. So I guess, I don't know if everybody is feeling it in the same place. And slowly come back up. Coming into your pigeon fold again, taking a 90-90 pigeon fold by just simply folding over your left shin or extending your right leg all the way back. If you want, you can place a blanket underneath your left hip. I need that blanket. Look behind you to make sure your right leg is shooting straight back and then fold over. You could also choose to just stay in a 90-90 pigeon fold. Props are your friends, so using a block or a blanket underneath your front hip, the hip of the leg that's in front, helps you keep both hips level so that you're not tilted over to one side. Also makes the pose a lot more comfortable. This is a pose where you need to relax, let go, just let your hips settle into it. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And slowly come back up. Remove the blanket if you have it under, and then extend your legs out in front. Plant your hands behind you. Fingertips are facing your hips. They're not facing away from you. Plant your feet down. Just going to do just 1 or 2 hip lifts here. Purvottanasana, half Purvottanasana, reverse tabletop. Press your hands down, press your feet down. On your next inhale, lift your hips up so that your shoulders and hips are at the same level. Gaze up at the ceiling. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale it out. Keep pressing your hands down. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it out. Keep squeezing those hips up. One last deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Extend your legs out. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, fold it forward. Paschimottanasana. Relaxing your head and neck if you want to. Or if you want to take a more active variation, you would pull your heart forward, bringing the crown of the head close to your toes. Whatever you feel like today. You can also bend your knees so that you can grab the outside of your feet, or just grab your ankle or shin. Use a strap. And slowly roll it up. Plant your feet down. Grab the backs of your legs and slowly round your back as you roll it all the way down, bringing your knees in with you. Give your knees a tight squeeze, bring them into your chest and rock from side to side, massaging your back. If you have a block, plant your feet down, squeeze that block in between your thighs. Couple of bridge lifts here. Squeeze that block in, grazing the backs of your heels with your longest finger. Inhale, on your next inhale, lift your hips all the way up to the sky. Exhale, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Keep squeezing that block. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, squeeze that block. Exhale, lower it down, one vertebrae at a time, the tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes, squeeze that block, hold it here. Few more breaths. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Take one last deep inhale. Exhale, lower it down, one vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Remove that block, set it out to the side. Take your feet as wide as your mat and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Drop both knees to the right. Take your arms out as a T and gaze to the left. Supine twist, you can stay here, or if you want an added stretch to your left outer hip, take that right ankle and plant it on top of your left knee. Deepen the stretch. Close your eyes. If you want, enjoying the supine twist. We have one more core exercise before we get into Shavasana. And then slowly release. Again, feet are as wide as the mat. Arms are out as a T. Drop both knees to the left and turn your gaze to the right. And if you took that variation of your ankle on top of your knee, do that on this side also. Left ankle now comes on top of your right knee to deepen the stretch. If this doesn't feel good, go back to just a regular supine twist. I kind of really enjoy this because it stretches out the outside of my right hip. Ultimately, don't let me tell you what to do. Do what feels good on your body. Slowly come back to center. And then we're going to do one last exercise before we call it a day. So you're going to tuck your tailbone in. Tuck your tailbone in means you're going to curl your tailbone up so that your low back is completely flat on the mat. So if I were to take my fingers and slide it underneath your back, it wouldn't go anywhere. So low back pressed into the mat, come into a reverse tabletop. I want you to visualize that you're in a perfect tabletop. Your knees are right above your hips and your ankles are in line with your knees. So 90-degree angle here again. So you're going to take your right hand and press it against your left knee. So your left knee is pressing against your right hand is pressing against your left knee. So using the palm of your hand, like there's a spring action going on here. The knee and the hand are not moving, but they're pressing each other. Reach your left arm up. We're going to do dead bugs. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, extend your right leg and left arm. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend. Keep pressing the opposite hand and knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend. Same leg and arm extends. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend. 5, 6, 7. Notice that spring action. Keep it going. 8, 9, 10. Come back to your reverse tabletop. You're not letting go yet. This time, left hand presses against the right knee. Left palm presses against the right knee. Right knee presses against the left palm. Like there's a spring action going on here. Working your core here, reaching your right fingers up. Take a deep inhale. Extend the left leg, right arm. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend. 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice the spring action, keeping it going. 8, 9, 10, and release. Extend your legs out. Shake, 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 shake. Reach your arms up, reach your legs up. Shake it out like you're throwing a tantrum here. Shake everything out. Shake, 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 shake. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Take that block. Plant it underneath your hips if you want. If you have a block, then you can plant it underneath your hips. And then extend your legs out for a gentle hip flexor stretch as we take a Shavasana. Take your feet wide, ankles drop open. Take your arms wide, palms face up. Release your shoulders from underneath you. Tuck your chin in slightly so that you're resting the back of the head on the mat. Go ahead and close your eyes and let go of your controlled breathing. Notice a gentle stretch in your hip flexor. If this is not comfortable, this feels intense to you, come to a regular Shavasana. surrendering to gravity here. Relaxing everything, every part of your body. Softening your breath, softening your belly. Notice if you're holding or clenching anything, whether it's your jaw or your hips. Maybe releasing the forehead a little bit. Notice if you need to soften the forehead a little bit and allow your eyes to sink back into the sockets. Settling down into a deep, deep Shavasana here, so that after a few seconds, you feel like you're floating on a pillow of clouds. You're not holding anything up. And gravity is holding you up, it's cradling you. Take this time to really internalize your practice. I'm going to set a timer for a couple of minutes. So you're going to enjoy a longer Shavasana than you usually do. I really want you guys to take this time to internalize your practice, assimilate everything. Notice what's going on in your body. If your mind wanders and starts making lists for the upcoming week, then bring it back gently to the present moment, to the sensation in your body, the throbbing of blood in your veins, the weight of the hips on the block, the weight of your shoulders on the mat, the weight of your skull making a deep indentation in the mat. Slowly start wiggling your fingers and your toes, bringing sensation back to your body, maybe rolling your ankles out, rolling your wrists out, rolling your head from side to side. And when you feel ready, plant your feet down, lift your hips up gently to remove the block, and roll over to your favorite side. Using your top arm, press yourself up into a seat. Hands come to heart center, drop your shoulders down. And clasp with one Om. So take a deep inhale through your nose for the Om. Om. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, meaning may the whole universe be happy and free from disease and suffering. Thank you all for joining me in the practice today. Happy birthday, Neha. Hope you enjoyed the practice. Hope you enjoyed your hike yesterday.
I did.